Volume 2, my workouts are better than influencers. All right, guys, shoulder workouts went really, really well for my workouts versus what we're being taught on the internet. So what I thought I would do is I'm just gonna continue this series as promised, and we're gonna do biceps today. So let me start off by saying this, I know that biceps are relatively boring to train because for the most part, all you do is curl. So how do you curl? It is wrist to front delt. So there isn't a lot of options, but somehow I'm amazed that people are still teaching poor exercise selection and execution. So let me go through the 3 things not to do that you're being told to do by people who you deem as smart or good or elite or incredible physiques. And then I'm gonna show you my 3 that I really challenge you to do with every workout, and you'll watch your arms get bigger, but also keep your elbows, wrists, forearms injury-free. So let's start. Exercise number 1 is gonna be the waiter curl. All right, first off, the name of this exercise is stupid. The waiter curl, because I'm gonna pretend I'm serving someone food, okay, let's get into why it sucks. Watch it, my alignment here. Look how in my wrists are. That is creating so much shearing within my elbow. Plus, then look, when this hits my body, it literally is not a full stretch. I would have to spread my legs here and drop my hands in the middle to get that. And then I have to reposition to get into the right form, so to speak. So you're just doing these little half reps at the top. It doesn't make sense to me, guys. If you watch this arm video where I'm talking about alignment of single arm exercises of shoulder, elbow, wrist, this defies all of that. Now, as I said to you in previous videos, doing that standalone one day isn't gonna make or break your health of your elbows. But if you did 30 to 60 reps a workout of that for a decade, I promise that portion of your elbow is gonna be miserable because it doesn't line up properly for anyone. No one is this narrow. No one, not even the smallest human in the world, not even a child. So I really encourage you, look at that exercise setup and selection. You don't get a full range of motion, it's a half rep, and it's awful in the elbow, so throw that thing in the garbage. All right, next up, the barbell curl. And you know what really sucks about this is I grew up doing barbell curls and I loved them. They felt incredible. And I was actually pretty daggone strong at them. Sadly, after years of doing this, it caused crazy forearm pain for me. And it's because I've lost the ability to fully supinate my wrists. Now, I know all the nerds out there are gonna say, Chris, work on your mobility. I guess I could. Or I could just use an easy bar. So this exercise, if you're going to do it and it feels good for you, I like to put my pinky on the stripe, step forward out of the rack here, and then I'm just curling up. Now, again, with the bar, this doesn't feel bad. This actually feels pretty good. But once I loaded any amount of considerable weight. So for me, I'd probably do my first set at 95, then 115, then probably 135 if I was doing 3 sets here in the 12 to 20 range. It's just not gonna be optimal for me. And by optimal, I know, again, that sounds really fancy, but what I'm getting at here, guys, is I wanna do exercises in bodybuilding that create the least amount of joint stress, connective tissue stress, because I would love to still be able to train hard and train effective into my 60s. And I can't do that if my entire body hurts. So even though this old school barbell curl is an effective exercise when you're young, in my opinion, you should bang them. Once you're an experienced level bodybuilder and you're into 15, 20 years of hard training, this is just probably not gonna be a good option for you. If you can do these, great, keep at them if you film in your biceps. But I'm just telling you there are better options. To me, I'd rather do a dumbbell curl, I'd rather do an easy bar curl, I'd rather do a cable curl. Again, have these put inches on guys' arms? Yes, they have, but at what cost? So you have to remember, training always has to evolve as your body ages and takes damage and wear and tear. So again, the barbell curl standalone, it wouldn't necessarily be a bad exercise. I'd actually recommend them to a lot of beginners and intermediates to really build strength within the bicep, but advanced level, I can't remember the last time I wrote a barbell curl into an advanced level bodybuilder or any physique athlete program. So again, not a terrible exercise, but not one I would suggest. Next up, the plate curl, and I'm gonna show you these to you. So here, as a whole, it's okay, but if you're gonna do those, will you just get 2 dumbbells? Or just get one of the easy bars that are neutral gripped? Don't understand. It looks fancy, it looks cool, I guess. I don't know. For me, all day long, I like to do the single arm dumbbell curl on this, as you'll see in a few minutes. But to me, on this, like just grabbing the plate is awkward. I've never understood any of the exercises where you're grabbing plates, and I know Jay Cutler made it really popular to do plate side laterals. It's just weird. Grab a dumbbell. Like, again, I think this is one of those things where people are just trying to reinvent the wheel, and it just isn't a necessity or something that I would even deem worthy of doing. So if you're doing this plate hammer curl on the preacher bench, like, again, just trash it. It's like the waiter curl. There's better options out there. Now, to the things I want you to do. And if you watch my videos, especially if I'm here at West Main, and honestly, any gym I go to, I'm always gonna start with a cable curl, either the rope or the easy bar. So today I want to go over the easy bar. That's going to be, to me, the bread and butter exercise to really get my biceps warmed up. You could do 3 sets of 12 to 20. You could do a top set of back off. You could do a rest pause. To me, none of that matters. I just did that this morning. Just did a top set with a back off of a drop, and it was within the same set. So it was technically my top set was a drop set, and I made that my back off because I just wanted the blood to get in there fast. So with the cable curl, I love this. I much prefer, if you notice me doing them with the outside handles. I'm not gonna be close and narrow because of the same reason I told you that waiter curl was trash. I'm too wide structurally now. If you look, here's my shoulder joint, there and there. I can't ram it in, it comes too close. Widen those hands out and get the alignment significantly better, and to drill those biceps with no elbow pain. So with this, again, I like the cable because it's constant tension from top to bottom. It makes the contractions incredible, and the pump is huge. Next up, the preacher curl. To me, this is second rotation because I love the way it feels, and I can really control it one arm at a time. So with this, again, the alignment is spot on. So unlike that plate curl, on the preacher bench, this lines up everything perfectly. If I wanted to, say, work my forearm and my brachialis, which is the muscle between my bicep and tricep, I can simply just go hammer here if I wanted to. Either one works well, but the premise of this, I get on top of the bench, bury my armpit in it, get a good stretch, and then come up and contract. You notice I'm not over-exaggerating the stretch, but there, bam, 1, 2, 1, 2. So in the grand scheme of life, again, you can do 3 sets of 15, 12, 10. You can do a top set and a back off, or you can do one massive drop set with this. All right, if you've been a fan of this channel or watching my arm videos, you simply know the stretch curl is how I finish most days. And why is that? Because I get so much blood into the bicep, now I need to stretch them out. So with this, it's a cable again. I'm able to really let my elbows and my wrists drift behind my body, and then I'm able to come up, get a full contraction on those biceps. Stretch, feel them things open up, contract. Stretch, contract, just like this. Now, I know you'll say, oh, Chris, like you can do this on an incline bench with dumbbells. Yes, you can. You definitely could. So if you want to opt for a free weight, you could just simply lay it on an incline bench and do dumbbell curls that way. I prefer this cable. It just feels better for my shoulders. It feels like I can get a better contraction. So I tend to opt for the cable stretch curl to end my bicep workouts, because again, I get so much blood in there from the first 2 or 3 exercises that I want something to really open those things up and force growth. So that's something that John always really pushed on me, was get a muscle fully pumped, and then your last exercise be a stretching exercise, so lengthening that tissue out. So this right here, I love a rest pause set here. So you hit 3 mini sets to failure, and then you just sit in the stretch for 20 to 30 seconds. If you want to end your bicep workout with a scream and pump, this is the way you do it, in my opinion. So if you look back over the course of these 3 exercises, I have a cable curl to get a pump, I have the preacher curl to really hammer growth and isolation on each side and be able to push the weight north, and then to finish with a stretch curl. So if I'm only going to do 3 exercises for biceps, these are the 3 I would bang home. If you wanted a 4th, dumbbell hammer curl, a rope hammer curl to, again, isolate and get more tissue between your bicep and tricep, another great option. You know, if you watch this channel, you know I tend to do 1 or 2 hammer curl variations within a workout or a session. So if I was going to add a 4th exercise to that rotation, I would simply do a hammer curl variation of your choice. So if you look at those 2 different workouts, the influencer versus what I recommend, they are drastically different. And that's why I'm banging home on this series with you guys. Like, what you're being told to do, which is what, as opposed to what actually works. And I know that's a tough concept, right? Because these influencers look incredible, and they have all these sponsorships, and they make money on the internet. But I'm telling you, if you do those workouts, you will get injured or not see as much growth as if you do what I do. Trust me. I've been around some of the best in this sport. They don't do any of that trash you see on the internet. They don't. And there's a reason for that. It's because it doesn't work. So again, if you like this video, like, share, subscribe. Until next time, Chris MSCB.